It was June 7th, 2024, a day which will live in infamy. I had the absolute pleasure of hearing an incredible concert. It was an all-star band comprised of Dan Tyminski, Sean Lane, Ron Stewart, Jeff Parton, Aaron Ramsey, and Matt Flake. Did I say it was an all-star band? I think I did, but even if I didn't, when I listed those names you would have known. And on my way into the concert, I'm walking through this parking garage when suddenly out of nowhere, I see Dan Tyminski. I was probably like 20 feet away from him. And I was like, something like that. That's not an exact quote. I can't remember exactly. It's all foggy. But I do remember thinking, I should say something to him. But I thought, well, it's only like 15 minutes before the show starts. I probably don't need to be taking up his time. If he's standing in a dimly lit parking garage, he's probably not looking to do a meet and greet. Plus, I never know what to say in these instances anyway. Every thought that pops into my mind sounds idiotic. Like, hey, you're awesome. And he'll be like, yeah, I know. And that'll be that. Or something stupid like, knock 'em dead up there. As if he wasn't going to do that anyway. Yeah, I was thinking I'd phone it in tonight, but since you said that, I'll give it 110. He'd already knocked me dead and he wasn't even on stage yet. It was only later that I thought, I know what I should have said. No hi, hello, how are you? I should have just cold opened with, what did you mean when you said Jimmy Martin never changed a guitar string? The best ideas always come to me when they're of no use. But I really should have said something. I mean, after all, he did co-write a song about how he's never met a stranger. And if I'd talked to him, he could have said that he's never met a stranger. And this concert was at the Old Smoky Moonshine Distillery in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. And if you haven't been there, it's got an outdoor venue with a little stage and maybe 100 seats or so. And frankly, the amount of space really wasn't enough, as you might expect. But luckily, they also have a balcony that goes all the way around the stage. But even with the second floor, there still really wasn't that much room, but I was able to find a spot. And there are a few benches up there, or you could bring your own chair, or you could just stand and lean on the railing, which is what I did. It's a very intimate venue, which is a nice way of saying that it's cramped, but you're right up close and personal with them. From where I was standing, leaning over the balcony, I could have spat on Jeff Parton if I wanted to. That's how close I was. I could read their set list. That's how close I was. Whoever wrote it had excellent penmanship. And the show itself was mind-blowing, but that's actually not really what I'm here to talk about. Now, because I was standing in the balcony, I had a really good view of almost everybody in the crowd, and this is where it gets especially interesting. There was a pretty good amount of women in the audience. There were the typical ones you often see, the ones who are old enough to be Betty White's mom who get up and buck dance, and the younger ones who are clearly only there because their boyfriend or husband dragged them there. But there were some younger ones there who actually seemed to be enjoying the music, which is a rare sight. Women under the age of 50 at a Bluegrass concert who actually seemed to be enjoying the music is an endangered species. I was like, crikey, just get a load of that one over there. You almost never see these in the wild. But wait, there's more. There was one girl in particular, I'm going to guess mid-20s, and as best I could tell, I may be wrong, but as best I could tell, she was single. It looked like she was there by herself anyway. Now, I don't mean to denigrate women when I say this. I know some people won't like me even alluding to this system of categorization, but you have to know what you're dealing with here to get the full picture, alright? Any man that's not in the nervous hospital would say she's at least an 8 out of 10. Now, there might be some guys who would say, she's not my type, or I'm a happily married man and I'd like to stay that way, so I have no comment. But any man that has impartiality would have to say she's at least an 8. And at the beginning of the concert, Dan said they were going to do some old favorites, as well as some songs we didn't know. And if it hadn't been a free concert, she could have asked for her money back, because I swear she knew every song they did. Like, singing along to most of them. You know how rare it is for a pretty girl to know the words to all the verses of Blue Ridge Cabin Home? Rare. Not medium rare. Rare. You know that Del McCoury song, Loneliness and Desperation? No, you don't, but you know who does? That girl. Now, if you do know the Del McCoury song, Loneliness and Desperation, I apologize. I didn't mean to offend your bluegrass cred. I was just trying to make a point, because that's a deep catalog song. And not only did she know it, she had it at the ready. She was singing along. How? How, I ask you? It's like I'd stepped into an alternate universe that doesn't exist. I lost my mind. Some could convincingly argue that I never had one to begin with, but if I did, I lost it right then and there. If I'd been sitting down, I would have fallen out of my chair. If I hadn't been leaning against a railing, I would not have been able to support my own weight. I could have seen Gandhi and Mr. Rogers beating the crap out of each other, and I would have been less dumbfounded. And she was really getting into the music too. Like, she was tapping her foot with almost every song. And when Ron Stewart took a break, she looked like it was the coolest thing she's ever seen, just like I did. That night it was about 65 degrees with a consistent breeze, but let me tell you, I was hot and bothered. Now, here's what you're probably wondering. Did I go up and talk to her and compliment her on her exquisite taste in music and her knowledge of lyrics to bluegrass standards and non-standards? Maybe try out my "if I were a carpenter" technique? Great question you got there. No, I did not, which might make you ask why I did not. Another astute question on your part. Well, there are 3 answers to that question. First answer, because I'm an idiot, and really that would suffice, but there are 2 more. Second answer, because I didn't want to stand in line. You might think I'm joking when I say this, but at the end of the concert, I looked away for like 4 seconds, and when I looked back, there was a group of like 3 guys talking to her. And while I actually am in my mid-20s, I look like I might have skipped my prom to go to this concert. So, needless to say, I didn't stand a ghost of a whisper of a prayer of a sliver of a shred of an iota of a slim slight possible chance. So you're telling me there's a chance? No, I'm not telling you that. Which segues perfectly into my third reason, and this is the big one. Remember how I said she was at least an 8 out of 10 no matter who you ask? Okay, what am I? At best, I'm a 5. I'm aware of my own value. At best, I'm a 5. On my good day. You mean good days? No, I mean good day. There was one day in the spring of 2021. I was looking dapper. It's never been duplicated. Now, maybe there are some other days that I might get close to a 5. You know, those days when I roll out of bed and my hair looks average, where my acne that I somehow still have at age 26 is mostly in remission. On those days, I might be bordering on a 5, but that's as high as it goes. So, with that being said, there is a system. The aforementioned numbering system. It's like the Dewey Decimal System, but entirely different. Now, you might not like the system. It might offend your sensibilities, and it offends mine, but I'm sorry to report that it's real nonetheless. And a 4.5 has absolutely no business with an 8 or greater. None whatsoever. And unlike some people, I respect the system. There are rules, there are laws, there are bylaws, whatever those are, that are put in place to keep 4.5s away from 8s. It's like a force field. Anything below a 6 can't go inside. Now you can get close, that's called the friend zone, but that's as close as you get. She was out of my league, plain and simple. Leagues away from my league. How many leagues, you ask? About 20,000 leagues, rough estimate. So I didn't waste my time or hers. I left her for some other lucky son of an obituary. And maybe that's you. Maybe that's you. If so, you're welcome. So that is the story of the night I saw many amazing people and spoke to none of them, which I think is a fitting encapsulation of my life so far. But I tell you this as a story of hope. There are probably some single guys out there that are living out the lyrics to more pitifully sad bluegrass songs than they care to admit. And if you, like me, might have assumed that all the beautiful girls who like bluegrass are taken, let me just tell you, they're not. There's like 4 left. Good luck.